Alright, everybody. So, the other day, my editor sent me this Twitter thread. It's actually a series of screenshots of a Twitter thread for me to read and react to. Now, I haven't looked at it before, but I have seen the discourse around it. I've seen people dunking on and making fun of this thread and, like, turning it into a meme a bunch. So I know the reaction to it has been, you know, pretty negative overall, but also very funny. Very, very funny. But I'm excited to actually find out what the joke is all about, so I fully understand it. But I'm not really going to dawdle much. Let's just get right into it. So this individual called Stevie P tweeted, "Not many people know this, but 12 years ago, I wrote a children's book. It sat in the vault, unreleased, for over a decade before I commissioned at House of Decline to illustrate it for me. For the first time ever, I present You Are Not Special." A children's book. Okay, let's see what this is all about then. There are billions of people like you. Okay. Many of them are smarter than you. That's fair. A little bit harsh to tell to a kid, but fair. More creative too. Okay. Some people are good at math. All right. Some people are good at making music. Are good at neither. Anything you can do, someone else can do better. Your opinions are not unique. Everything you know about life you stole from someone else. Most of it is wrong, anyhow. You could make a difference, or bring a smile to someone's face. But probably not. No one will remember you after you die. Because you are not special. So, this is basically just the most, soy Reddit cringe shit I've ever seen. There's definitely some truth to some of the things said there, and if worded better, could probably make a kid that feels like they're an underachiever feel better. But it's very clear the intent of this book was just to be an edgy, mean, cruel, nihilistic edgelord Reddit moment, you know? And as you can imagine, the tweets in question did not get a lot of likes. Who would have thought? A lot of people saw this and were like, that's pretty fucking cringe. For example, "Great book, Steve. I'm going to go kill myself now." Literally accumulating more likes than the entirety of the thread combined. The entire, all those tweets in that thread combined don't have as many likes as this post saying, Great book, Steve. I'm going to kill myself now. Thumbs up." This man wrote an entire book, and it got less likes than a guy who wrote a single sentence with an emoji at the end. "Thank you and please don't." That is a pretty funny reply, though, to be fair. That either this person is very not self-aware or can play, at least has a little bit of self-awareness and can play with the joke, you know? If you say shit like, "We're just meat sacks and God complexes on a spinning rock," I'm fucking stealing something out of your house. God, this is so true. I'm so happy that people are starting to wake up to the reality of philosophy cucks, okay? These soy Reddit atheist fucking fedora-tipping assholes do not deserve even the slightest bit of respect. In fact, not only do they not deserve respect, they don't deserve peace, okay? If they exist online, their existence should be nothing but bullying, alright? I want to be very clear about my opinion on this. In Minecraft. "Nihilists when I hold them at gunpoint. Suddenly life does matter." I don't know why, but the image attached to it is so fucking good. The fact that it's so zoomed in and low quality too makes it so much better. You can see you can count the fucking pixels in this. You can unironically count the goddamn pixels, dude. Oh my god. Dude, it's so cringe. It's the nihilistic, Reddit atheist shit is so cringe. Oh my god, I feel like I've seen something that's a perfect showcase of this mindset. It was a similar situation to this too, but I don't remember the details. You know, yeah, it was that. Hold on. Yeah, it was the South Park clips trending on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I guess I can't really show it because then I'll get copyrighted because, you know, South Park, you know, it's a show on TV, and if I play a clip of that on stream, like, the copyright gods will come down on me like Thor's hammer. You know, that out of the way. Like, I guess I'll just describe it. Have you guys seen these cringe posts on Twitter made by these, like, conservative gimmick accounts where it's, like, a clip from South Park where, yes, while South Park is very cringe with their politics, ironically enough, it's usually from an episode making fun of people who believe what that conservative believes, but they clip something out of context to make it look like the episode agrees with them and say, man, South Park is taking on the gender bathroom issue or whatever. You've seen that, right? Is it just me, or has South Park done, like, irreparable maybe not irreparable, but pretty bad damage to, like, an entire generation of Zoomers, you know? Like, I feel like South Park was made for Gen X and millennials. Maybe not even Gen X, but mostly for millennials. South Park was made for millennials, and without the context that, listen, I'm just gonna give, like, my little analysis of South Park here, because it's a very nihilistic show, and I think it ties into this type of mindset, right? I feel like when South Park came out, it was very subversive, and it made, you know, when it did do political or social commentary, it was very biting, and its satire and irony was very good, generally speaking, when it first came out. Because it was, you know, millennials were the, you know, the generation consuming it for the most part, right? And that generation had the context of society at the time in mind going into these episodes of South Park. They knew it was being parodied. They knew it was being discussed. They knew what positions at the core the creators of South Park held early on. South Park has normalized anti-Semitism since 1999. That's true, but not intentionally. But, like, what it really seems like is as we get into, like, the modern day, the creators of South Park will attempt to parody something because it's like they're just trying to talk about the most recent thing. But then you have all of these Zoomers who are just now getting into South Park, and they discover, like, the PC principal episodes, or, like, the PC police, or, like, the trans bathroom episodes, or the trans sports episodes, and they like see that, and they assume this is South Park not doing satire, parodying a group of people they think is making a mountain out of a molehill, but, you know, actually taking their side with things. One of the creators is Jewish, though. I'm sorry, but, like, identity politics is never a good response to, this person holds insert beliefs, you know? Like, I get it, but, like, being... Ooh, God, I just kicked my entire desk. But being Jewish does not preclude you from holding cringe political values, I promise. Regardless, my point here is that I feel like South Park, particularly to, like, the Zoomer generation and maybe a little bit older, like the younger end of millennials, like, led to this, like, era of these nihilistic, I don't give a fuck, like, I'll fight to not care about anything generation. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? This little subgroup of, like, nihilistic, I don't care about anything types. I feel like that's what caused this. Not entirely, but a large part of it. Yeah, radical centrism, radical edgelord satiric centrism. I don't know. Listen, I like South Park. There's a lot about South Park that I like. I would even call myself a South Park fan, but goddamn, it is very much not, like, it's not the kind of thing you should take any values from. And it's why I literally roll my eyes to the back of my head when they start playing the piano music and, like, Stan starts saying, you know what, I learned something today. And the show tries to teach a lesson. I hate when South Park tries to teach a lesson. Because there are episodes, so many episodes, they don't try to teach a lesson. It's just satire, and there's, like, the only reasonable lesson you could take from it, like, position you could take from the episode is a cruel, nihilistic one that, like, isn't good. That I don't think the creators intended for people to take that message from said episodes, right? But that's what ends up happening regardless, right? Because people do not know how to analyze media in any way, shape, or form. Or is it Kyle or Stan who does the I learned something today? I don't remember. Yeah, the South Park games go hard. Oh, it's Kyle. Okay, that's my bad. It's Stan? Okay, I'm getting mixed messages in chat now. God damn it. All right, it's either Kyle or Stan. It's certainly not Kenny or Cartman. To be fair, I believe the show is a little self-aware of the fact later on, and they poke fun at the trope that they've imprisoned themselves into. Like, I get that, but all right. I will say there was one episode of South Park that made me grin the entire episode, and it was the episode where they apologized to Al Gore. For those of you guys that don't, I don't know why I can't speak today. It's been a little while. I'm a little rusty from streaming. For those of you guys that don't know, South Park did a episode back in the day that is a very famous and beloved South Park episode. The episode is called Man Bear Pig. The episode's about Al Gore. This is around the time when Al Gore was running for president. He was talking about like how climate change and global warming are a big issue. It's about how Al Gore, who is presented quite, in a very unflattering way, to say the least, believes in this mythical creature called Man Bear Pig, who doesn't exist, and he's freaking out about it, and he's trying to convince everyone that he's real. He's half man, half bear, and half pig. Which, of course, you can't be half of three things, so the joke is that even conceptually the thing that Al Gore is concerned about is a joke or isn't worth taken seriously. So South Park makes that episode, and the very clear like message of it is that Al Gore is a joke, and that it was years after he ran. Okay, thank you. Listen, I wasn't even born yet, guy. Or if I was born, I was barely sentient. The episode was very clearly meant to shit on Al Gore and meant to be on the side of climate change denialism, right? More recently, they released an episode that basically apologizes for this. Turns out Man Bear Pig is real, he's terrorizing the city, and they have to find Al Gore because he's the only one who knows how to take down Man Bear Pig. And when they find him, they're like, oh, how do we stop Man Bear Pig? And he says, you stop him by listening to me all those years ago. That joke was fantastic. The episode where Mr. Garrison becomes Miss Garrison is horrendously transphobic too. Okay, I will say, the episode where Mrs. Garrison becomes Mr. Garrison again, though, the ending of it has a pretty based line, okay? There's a scene at the end where Mrs. Garrison has detransitioned and gotten his penis back and become Mr. Garrison again. And it's like the I learned something today moment of the episode. And Mr. Garrison says, I learned something today. Women are people who can have babies. And then like a guy steps out of the audience and says, my wife had ovarian cancer and like she can't have a child. She can't get pregnant. And Mr. Garrison looks at him and says, well, looks like you're an F-slur or something like that. And the episode just smash cuts right there to the credits. That was pretty good because it's inherently stupid to like try to narrow down the definition of woman to this like bizarre biological standard that conservatives have tried so desperately to narrow it down to. I'm crying remembering that. Thank you, Zan. It was pretty good. If you could look up that clip, definitely go watch it. I wish I could show it to you all, but I can't because I'll get copyrighted. Anyway, really, that's all I have to say. I like South Park, but God, has this like weird trend of nihilism, not giving a fuck about anything and being as pointlessly cruel as possible to try to come off as smart and above everyone else, done like a whole lot of damage to a whole lot of people.